Hi, welcome back to Unite Pieces channel. In this video, we will bring the storyline of the movie entitled The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This movie by director Francis Lawrence tells the story of events in the past long before the first Hunger Games. The time when Coriolanus Snow had not yet become a cruel tyrannical president. Young Coriolanus, who was 18 years old at the time, lived in the middle of a family that fell into poverty. Finally, Coriolanus tried to change his life and family by being chosen as the 10th mentor in the Hunger Games. However, this is where he started to become a ruthless tyrant. And without further ado, let's get into the video. The movie opens 3 years before the start of the Hunger Games, during the early rebellion in the country of Panem. The scene begins with two siblings running in the dark of night. Then they hide when they see a man eating the remains of human flesh. The sister is named Tigress Snow, and her brother is named Coriolanus Snow. They then return home to meet their grandmother, where she tells them that their father has been killed during the rebellion, and the family line now depends on their only male member, Coriolanus. Part 1. The Mentor. 13 years later, a grown-up Coriolanus still lives with his sister and grandmother, still hoping that he can restore his family name. They are preparing for the 10th annual Hunger Games, where Coriolanus is assigned to be the 10th mentor for the event. He is joined by other mentors, including Arachne Crane and Sejanus Plinth, who comes from an upper-class family but personally disapproves of the games. We are then greeted by the head creator of the Hunger Games, Dr. Volumnia Gall, who comes to introduce Dean Casca Highbottom, the person who will be in charge of the Hunger Games. He explains that, now that the number of viewers of the game has spiked, Casca tells the mentors to focus on getting the participants to entertain the audience, rather than winning the game. The opening ceremony began. During the assignment process, Coriolanus was assigned to District 12, which disappointed him, as District 12 was where his father was killed during the initial rebellion. Afterwards, the mentors viewed the participants through the monitor, where a young girl named Lucy Gray Baird caught Coriolanus' attention, as she was from District 12. She was an eccentric and rebellious girl. She was even seen putting a snake around the neck of one of the participants when the girl insulted her rudely. She then went on stage where the mayor hit her for her behavior. However, Lucy slowly got back up and stood up, then started singing loudly, which caused the people there and even some of the mentors to start feeling compassion. Some time later, as the participants were being dragged into the truck, Coriolanus quietly sneaked over to try to talk to Lucy, but one of the participants, a notorious reaper, threatened to kill Coriolanus. However, he warns them that they will all be executed if they do so. He then talks to Lucy in an attempt to gain her trust, as he hopes to make her the champion of this game through his methods. In short, the participants are placed in the zoo. Coriolanus then talks to Lucy and assures her that he will win it no matter what. Later, he also spoke to the camera crew, with an interviewer named Lucius Lucky Flickerman. During their conversation, another participant, Brandy, tried to take the bottle from Arachne Crane's mentor, but Brandy then smashed the bottle and stabbed Arachne right in the throat, causing a hole in her neck, and that made the guard finally shoot Brandy dead. That night, Coriolanus made a proposal to advise Gall to allow the mentors to send provisions to the participants during the games, food that they would get by opening donations from the audience. While about to approach Gall with the proposal, Coriolanus went with his lady friend, Clemencia Dovecote, who agreed to the proposal and helped Coriolanus to deliver it. However, Gall responded by throwing the proposal into a barrel of breeding snakes, saying that they would not attack when they recognized a certain scent. Gall had Clemencia put her hand into the barrel to retrieve the proposal, and she ended up being bitten, but fortunately was administered anti-venom in time, before she was taken away. Gall learned that the proposal was written by Coriolanus, and she accepted it. Coriolanus then joined Lucy and the other mentors. They paid their respects at the arena where the match was to take place. But suddenly, several explosions are heard as a result of the rebel bombing. Several mentors and participants are killed. Coriolanus is buried and almost dies, before Lucy comes to rescue him. This made Coriolanus look at Lucy in a much different way than before. While at his home, he takes his mother's compact mirror and slips rat poison into it. for him to give to Lucy as a hidden weapon, which will be useful during the Hunger Game. The second part, the prize. The remaining participants are brought to the arena to start the game, while the mentors watch from their headquarters, along with the rest of the world watching. When the event started, many aggressive participants, including a young girl named Coral, began to defeat the participants who were smaller and weaker than her. On the other hand, Lucy managed to avoid the attack and tried to find a place to hide with two other participants, where one participant, Jessup, was bitten by a bat on the way, and another participant died. At night, Sejanus sneaks into the arena to meet one of the dead participants, Marcus, who was his friend at school. Gaul, who found out about it, then told Coriolanus to get Sejanus out of the arena. Then when they were about to get out, one of the participants, Tanner, tried to attack them, but Coriolanus beat him to death before Coral and the others came, but fortunately they managed to get out. As the game continued, Coral and her colleagues worked together to kill the other girls, while Jessup started to become delirious from the bat bite and tried to attack Lucy. Coriolanus, on the other hand, sent drones filled with food into the arena as an aid, where a water bottle was dropped right on Jessup's head, making him fall to his death. Lucy, however, sadly mourned the death of her friend. The other participants continued to try to attack her, but Coriolanus sent more water bottles to cause madness, which would allow Lucy to get out. Moments later, Gaul took over to announce to everyone watching that Felix Raven, the son of the president of the capital, had died after the rebel bombing, and in response, he ordered the remaining participants to be killed, and he intended to send a barrel full of snakes into the arena. But Coriolanus made his way to Gaul's lab by sneaking past the guards, and slipped his handkerchief into the barrel, as it had Lucy's scent on it. Meanwhile, Lucy continued to hide from the other participants. She took the last unbroken water bottle, and slipped rat poison in there, hoping that someone like Coral would drink it. But the poison was taken by a little girl named Dill, who drank it and died instantly, while Lucy watched in horror. The Reaper then went to Dill's body, mourning her death, before finally gathering all the deceased participants and placing capital flags over their bodies. Everyone watched as Lucy hid in the vent, where Coral and the remaining participants tried to find her. Lucy slipped some more rat poison through the vents, which killed one participant named Tretch. After Lucy exited the vents, a barrel of snakes suddenly spilled out, releasing thousands of venomous snakes at the remaining participants, killing them one by one. Coral tried to chase after Lucy, who once again ran, but in the end she was also killed. However, the snakes did not bite Lucy at all. With only her left, she sang to celebrate her victory. Gaul initially refused to declare her the winner, until the audience, including the mentors, started chanting her victory, and finally Lucy was deemed the winner of the Hunger Games. After the victory, Coriolanus was brought to meet Casca, who found out about Lucy's rat poison and handkerchief. For this offense, Casca punished Coriolanus by banishing him to the district as a peacekeeper for 2 years. The third part, Peacekeepers. Coriolanus begins his training as a peacekeeper together with Sejanus. While serving in District 8, he uses the guards to go to District 12 to try to find Lucy. When he gets there, he is grateful to finally find Lucy with the rest of the band, who are singing peacefully in a bar. Afterwards, he witnesses an execution in the city, where a woman runs in vain towards her doomed lover before he is finally hanged. Later, Coriolanus and Lucy meet and spend more private time together, giving away their feelings for each other. After returning, Coriolanus meets Sejanus, who is seen talking to the rebels, and learns that he plans to help some of them escape to the north. Coriolanus secretly recorded the conversation and sent it to Gaul. One night, Coriolanus saw Lucy and Sejanus together with Lucy's ex-boyfriend, Billy Toe, then Mayfair, and Sejanus' friend, Spruce. They were discussing a plan to escape, but Mayfair began to oppose it. Because of her deep hatred for Lucy, she even threatened them, saying that she would tell her father that they were using his connections to try to rebel. She would also have Lucy put in prison. Later, Coriolanus shot Mayfair dead as she walked away, and when Billy tried to retaliate, Spruce killed him. Coriolanus tries to calm a terrified Lucy, before finally putting away his gun. The next morning, Spruce was arrested after he was implicated in the deaths of Mayfair and Billy, while Sejanus was also arrested, after Gall heard Coriolanus' message about Sejanus' rebellion plans. Sejanus begs Coriolanus for help, but he remains silent until they are both hanged. He then plans to flee with Lucy to the north. A suspicious Lucy suspects that Coriolanus has something to do with what happened to Sejanus, and to her surprise, Coriolanus admits it. They stop at a hut as it begins to rain. Lucy tells Coriolanus that she is going out to pick some flowers, but when Coriolanus goes out to look for her, Lucy is nowhere to be found. He finds her shawl and tries to take it, only to be bitten by a viper. He then saw Lucy running and tried to shoot her with a shotgun, but she still managed to escape from his sight. Coriolanus went more and more crazy and made him start shooting wildly into the air, before he gave up and returned to the hut. He then threw away the gun used to kill Mayfair and Billy. He then returned to his duties, and prepared to be transferred to District 2, until his commanding officer told him that there was a change of plans. He will be sent back to the capital, as he got a place in the capital with Casca's permission. In short, Coriolanus meets with Casca, who tells him that Lucy Gray's fate is still unknown, as her body was never found. Either she died somewhere alone, or managed to escape from District 12. He then tells Coriolanus that long ago, he suggested this game to his father while they were drunk that night. However, he never intended for it to come true, and it haunts his to this day. After Coriolanus left, he drank beer, only to die, after he was poisoned by Coriolanus. Later Coriolanus met with Gall, who asked him once again, "What is the meaning of the Hunger Games?" He admitted that he originally saw it as a punishment for the district for rebellion, but his views had changed after all he had been through, and saw the Hunger Games as an entertaining competition, and his soul was in that. Gall began preparations to install Coriolanus as the next Hunger Games creator, and stated that his influence on this year's games had changed him for generations to come. He then stepped out into the town square, looking up at the statue in the center of town, where the voice of tyrannical President Coriolanus could be heard, saying that the things we love the most are what destroy us and the world.